Hi, my name is Lisa, and today I will be using the Situated Clinical Decision-Making Framework to address two breastfeeding challenges. The challenges I will be addressing is infant jaundice and sore nipples for the mother. Throughout this project, I will be explaining the different components of this framework and then showing what it looks like in a real patient situation. I will start with the knowledge part of the framework. In the knowledge part, it's important that we discuss the pathophysiology about the breastfeeding challenge so our audience is aware of what's really going on. It's important to be simple because we don't want to overwhelm the patients with too much information. In this part, I will also be discussing the cues, and this is the signs and symptoms of the breastfeeding challenge so they are aware of what to look out for. Here we go. Hi, Elise. How's little Marcus doing today?
Hi, Lisa. He's well. We just had an appointment with the doctor about his jaundice. It was a little overwhelming and kind of confusing. Just a lot of information at once. So I was wondering if we could go over that again and you could help solidify everything.
Yeah, for sure. And jaundice is complicated, so it's totally normal to feel overwhelmed. But I'll for sure just simplify it for you a little, okay?
Okay.
So jaundice is the accumulation of bilirubin in the blood. Bilirubin is a byproduct of red blood cells, and usually it's excreted normally through the liver and out through the intestines. What happens with babies is that they have an immature liver. So it happens a lot with preterms and babies in general just because of the development of organs inside. So when the baby is not able to make the bilirubin into a form that can be excreted through the liver, there's an accumulation. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so there's different types of jaundice, and I know the doctor went over them with you, but I wanted to focus on the breastfeeding-associated jaundice because I know that you're exclusively breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So, as you know, colostrum is a natural laxative. So when the baby consumes the colostrum, it helps them excrete their stool, which has bilirubin in it, and so that's how you regulate the levels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So breastfeeding jaundice is not also directly from the breast milk, although some people just say those things. It's due to ineffective feeding. So that's why it's important that we make sure that the baby's getting enough of the breast milk with a proper latch and everything else. So they get this colostrum and so to help them excrete the stools. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that helps a lot actually.
Okay. And then for the cues, the signs and symptoms. The main thing you're going to see with jaundice is the yellow discoloration of the skin, the mucous membranes, and the sclera, which are the eyeballs.
Okay.
It also develops in a head-to-toe pattern, and we monitor, obviously, the serum levels, so the bilirubin in the blood. That's why we might do blood tests on your baby.
Okay.
There's also different tools that help us see what's dangerous and what's not, like what's expected.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just to make you feel a little bit better though, up to 60% of infants will get jaundice. So it's not something to worry about quite yet. It usually just gets rid of its own. And if it does need treatment, we have something called phototherapy that it's studied and safe for your baby.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now that I have reviewed the knowledge and cues for infant jaundice, I will be doing the same for the second breastfeeding challenge, which is sore nipples for the mother. So Elise, I was reading your chart, and it says that you've been experiencing some soreness from your nipples. Is that still going on right now?
Yeah, it is. It's like they're sore all the time, but especially when I'm feeding.
Okay, so it does get worse when you're feeding.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so having sore nipples is very common in the first part of postpartum. So it's just important that I tell you what to look out for and things that are expected and unexpected just so you can report any changes to me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so sore nipples can present being red, they can have blisters, cracks, misshapen. After a feed, they might totally just look a little wonky. Okay. So that's kind of normal. You can also see some yeast, and that can be signs of infection. So that's something to report.
Okay.
So as long as you're able to feed, it shouldn't be too much of a problem because we can put a warm compress on it, or we just make sure that you have enough support with your bra and that it's fitted. If it hurts too much to feed, we can promote the milk ejection with hand expression. And that's something else that we can talk about later on, okay? We just want to make sure that you're comfortable and that your baby's getting enough milk.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Perfect. I have finished the knowledge and cues component of the framework for both jaundice and sore nipples, and now it's time that I move along to the judgment part of the framework. In this portion, we will be looking at the relationship from both challenges. I will also be involving another healthcare professional to help me get to the 3 priorities that I want my patient to reach by the end of my care. So now that I've taught you about jaundice and sore nipples, do you kind of start seeing how both work together?
Yeah, I definitely do, especially when you were telling me about breastfeeding-associated jaundice.
Exactly. So we want your little guy to be getting enough breast milk, but we want you to be in 0 pain.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And the best way that we can do that is for you to get a proper latch.
Okay.
Yeah. So have you gotten an opportunity to talk to the lactation consultant on the floor?
No, actually I haven't.
Okay, well she's amazing. She's a total expert when it comes to breastfeeding and getting a proper latch. And I can go start arranging that for you.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, she'll go over what's a proper latch and what you expected and all of that. But basically, we don't want you to be in any pain.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's 3 priorities that I want to share with you for your care while you're here.
Okay.
So the first one is for you to not be in any pain, and we want to decrease the discomfort, especially during a feed.
Okay.
Secondly, is that we want to make sure that Marcus is getting enough breast milk and having effective feeding to reduce the jaundice. And lastly, we want to just enhance your both success with breastfeeding and the relationship you guys are having throughout the process.
That sounds great.
Awesome. So I think the Martha, who's the lactation consultant, is on the floor, so I'm going to go be getting her right now, and she'll come in and talk to you.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.
The next part of the framework is decisions. Here we are seeing how we can help the mother feed her infant effectively. We are seeing whether we should watch and wait or we should involve someone else in the care. Personally, in this situation, because the mother had already developed quite sore nipples and the baby is starting to get some jaundice, I consulted a lactation consultant in the previous part, but you can also do that here. In this part, we're also seeing if we made the right decisions. So I just saw Martha leaving your room. How was the consultation?
It went really well. She taught me how to have an effective latch.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I just fed him and it felt way better.
Less pain.
A lot less pain.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we're on the right track then.
Yeah, it also felt like he got a lot more milk than usual.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
The more milk he gets, the better, and
Yeah.
we'll decrease the jaundice more quickly.
Yeah, I feel so much more confident now. I feel like I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah,
It
you
feels a
look
lot
more
better.
confident.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. I'm glad that you feel better about breastfeeding in general. That's going to help with the feeding and with your comfort. I will let you be for now, but just know that I'm here. If you have any other questions, you can ring your bell. I'll keep coming just to assess you and Marcus. But yeah, if you need anything, just let me know, okay?
Okay, that sounds
And
good.
I've also printed a brochure for you that I'll just go grab in a bit. It's just kind of going over everything that we went through today. And so just you can review it at your own time, or if you forget something, it's right there for you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No problem, Elise. I'll see you later.
Sounds good. See you.
The last conversation I had with my patient proved that my decision to involve the lactation consultant in the care was the right one. I have reached the 3 priorities that I set out in my care plan. The mom overall has less pain when she's breastfeeding and has less soreness to her nipples. The infant is getting more breast milk and effective feedings, which will reduce jaundice. And the mom is feeling more confident in the breastfeeding process, which will enhance their relationship as well as the breastfeeding experience. This all forms the last part of the framework, which is evaluation of the outcomes. In general, I think the care I provided was efficient and simple. I remembered who my audience is, and in this example, it's a new mom who doesn't want to be overwhelmed with too much information. I also provided a brochure at the end so she can review it at any time she wants if she has any questions or doubts. This marks the end of my video. Thank you.